welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, and ReadersMagnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, ReadersMagnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank ReadersMagnet and everybody that's involved. I love ReadersMagnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? Thank you for everybody that's joining me here. This is my second year of the Festival of Storytellers, hosted by ReadersMagnet. Thank you all. My name is Clarence Causby. Like I said, this is my second year. The first book that I actually wrote was Soul Exchange, and that came out last year. And this year, I actually have two books that's actually out now, and I got a third book that's actually on its way. Like I said, my name is Clarence Causby. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I like to cook. I like to do a lot of research on things. Love anime, love watching martial arts, love all kinds of music and everything. Definitely love writing more so than ever, more so than when I first started writing. So I definitely enjoy it. So to kind of get things kicked off, let me show you the books that I have out now. One is called Erebus the Ranger, and the other one is called Talking to the Devil. And these two books are currently out now. The third book that I have coming out is called Armageddon. That should be out later this year. The first one that I pretty much wrote and finished for this year was Erebus the Ranger, and that's about sort of taking in medieval times, is when there's a king who loved his people, loved everybody in the kingdom of Sarnis. And so the king wanted everybody to learn, how to protect themselves, how to fight, how to, protect their children, their family, to help with the kingdom, and pretty much, to teach their kids how to, defend themselves, when they grew up. And so you find out that the king wound up dying out of a deadly illness, and then this other king comes along and just takes over without question, and anybody who kind of went against the king got kind of kicked out of their house. And there pretty much was no differences in the kingdom at all. Everybody was like a family to each other. Everybody loved one another. Everybody got along. But then when King Thaddeus came in, he pretty much separated everybody. So those who didn't like him, he kicked them out, and then made another district called the slums. And he pretty much called everybody there who's in the slums the slum rats. So you find out that anybody that didn't agree with him was pretty much either kicked out or brutally murdered and killed. And then pretty much either by him or by the guards or by King Thaddeus's right-hand man, which is called the Torturer. And he just went around like his name, the Torturer, went around torturing everybody, killing everybody. And so one day he threw out this couple Darius and Marnia, and pretty much they had nowhere else to go to. They wasn't sure, so Darius's brother Taven brought him down to the Wolf's Fang, which is a tavern, and everybody there got along well. They loved to see Darius and his wife and Taven and all of them because, like I said, they were just like family. And so they wound up having a kid, Erebus, and you find out along the way that Erebus, as he was growing up, he got bullied by the kids, he got bullied by the guards, he got abused, he got kicked, he got beaten. And then one night, they were celebrating his birthday, and then lo and behold, here comes a torturer, comes along and kills one of his friends. And he tries to help out his friends, but of course, him being so young, he gets brutally and critically injured. So from then on, he kind of had nothing but like guilt, like in his heart. He wasn't really sure like what he should do, what he could do. He kind of blamed himself, kind of blamed other people, and he wanted to take like the path of revenge. And everybody kept telling him that's not really what you really want to do, and that's not something that you should, really pursue, because if you go down that path, nothing really is gonna like wind up being good for you. You're gonna wind up changing from the sweet person that you are, and so you kind of like go along with down the path with Erebus to see like what he goes through, what happens, and you see, like was he able to accomplish his goals? Was he not? Was it a stalemate? You just have to like find out and read the book and everything. But I really enjoyed writing that book, and the way I came about that book is because I was playing a mobile game, which I also love to do, and I just got like this idea for like a story, and I was trying to think, what do I want? Like a knight with a sword and shield? Do I want a thief? Do I want a ranger? I'm like, no, I'll go with a ranger. And then everything just pretty much started coming together like piece by piece, and everything really started flowing like really well. And I had a blast like writing that. And so I started for a little bit, and then I stopped, and then I decided, thing like I want to put out 3 books like for this year, and I was actually able to do it. It was rough. It was rough and really hard. So I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break, like after writing those books, kind of collect my thoughts and kind of get re-energized and everything like that. But I had so much fun like writing these books, and then this one here too. Oh, there's one thing I also want to mention too, like the covers and everything was definitely drawn by my friend Arnaldo Rosado, and he does like all my book covers, and like I love the artwork that he does. Talking to the devil that's going to be kind of controversial, I think, to most people, especially when they go to like the ones that go to church and everything, because like the way I came about that one is because I used to do like custodial work, and so as I was cleaning and everything, I heard a voice says, talk to the devil." Was it a sequel? Yes, I would definitely say Erebus would definitely be not a lot. I was probably say like a series. I would definitely want it to be more of a series as it kind of like goes on, and not only a series, but I think too there would probably be like other books that's not really directly connected to Erebus that will somehow or another, like bring Erebus up, and so that way it'll be again part of the same world. But I definitely think it'll be like a series. I'm not really sure how far I want to go with this series, but it'll definitely be a sequel and probably like a lot more, maybe 5. That's kind of overshooting a little bit. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure how long I want it to be, but I'll definitely have like a sequel to it. And in this book, you kind of see how new he is. He's not really, really grasping everything. He's still trying to learn. Everybody's still trying to tell him things, but he, kind of wants to do things his own way and things like that. One thing though, for those who do watch anime, you will understand certain words in the book that people who really watch anime, I mean, a lot of anime will kind of understand. Plus, there's like a glossary that I have in the back to kind of help people kind of understand, what like some of the words are and what they mean and everything like that from an anime standpoint. And you'll see something like a garderobe. Garderobe is what was used back in the medieval times as a bathroom. But yeah, like they will definitely be a lot more than just that book, and I'm so very, very, very excited about it. And part of me is like has already thought about like parts of like the sequel already, of kind of like what I kind of want to have in there, what I want to do. You'll kind of start to see Urbis's growth and things like that. You'll see what happens like a few years later on. You'll see how he's grown, how he's matured, like what techniques that he's learned, how he's using them now. More so when he was just like, young, naive. He has a little bit more age to him, a little bit more wisdom. So yeah, there'll definitely be like a sequel and then some. So absolutely. And so about talking to the devil, it was when, for those who go to church like a lot, and there you hear people like, oh well, you know, I'm so sick of the devil, and the devil said this, and the devil made me do this, the devil made me do this, the devil this, and that, the third. And there's this guy called Gary Winscombe, and he asked God, he's like, like I want to talk to Lucifer because I want to give him a piece of my mind, and then I want to set him straight and all this other stuff. So you find out God is like, okay, cool. That's what you want to do. You want to talk to him? No problem. You can talk to him. So he tells Lucifer, like, listen, Gary Winscombe wants to talk to you, and supposedly he wants to get a whole lot of things off of his chest, but there's certain conditions that you can and cannot do. One of the conditions was you cannot kill him by any means necessary. Can't kill him. But when you answer him, you have to tell him the absolute truth. And so, as you can see, with like talking to the devil, it's a very, very, very short book. Armageddon is a very short book too, and Armageddon is pretty much like the end times. Like in the Bible, you find about like the Battle of Armageddon and everything like that. That pretty much took like almost as like a religious kind of like horror, so to speak. Because I took everything that are in the Bible and everything really amplified it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Precious Margarina. Yes, they're definitely my ideas. I asked my friend, could you draw them? And so he's like, yeah, sure, I can definitely draw them. So Honora was like, just let me know, like, give me, the bios, like the descriptions of all your characters, give me what they look like, every little detail, everything like that. So I was like, okay, sure. And it was weird. So for like, what is it, Soul Exchange? I was thinking about, I'm like, well, okay, well, if this is supposed to be like, like the battle of like the souls and everything, and it came to me, like to have like the little atom symbol and everything, and then God's hand like coming down, as you can see here, and the devil's hand coming up, and most of the ideas like just come to me and everything, and I kind of like see them like vividly, and that's kind of way it is with my like when I write as well, like as like if I'm like looking at the computer screen now, I'm looking at everything like in my peripherals, like the walls and everything, like all that changes. Like when I'm writing or when I'm doing book or like I'm thinking of a book cover because I don't see anything. I see pitch black, and then I see like things come before my come before me like in my head, like how a person should move, how a person should act, how a person should be like on the cover, how things should be like shaped, designed, or something like that. So usually when I'm coming up with book covers, like I see it in my head and I have like a vision of how I want it to be, how a person should be like standing, like the expression and everything. Because as a matter of fact, if you can see right here, you can see like the transparency face right here and everything that Erebus is like really, really mad. And this part right here where he's leaning up against the tree. So, and that's kind of what I envisioned too. This part here, um, that was my friend's idea. Like that was great. Hey Michael, how you doing? How do you manage your day writing and working at the same time? That's rough. That's rough because I enjoy writing so much. So like if I know that I'm like got like a deadline to meet, or if I'm just like really, really feeling the whole process of like writing like a story, and I'm just like really into it, I'm like so in the zone. So what I'll do is like before work, I'll start like I'll be typing away my ideas. I'll be writing like typing away, and then after work, I'll be typing my ideas as well. So pretty much like I will lose like tons of sleep. I've like at my last job, like before work, I was writing books. During my lunch break, I was writing. After work, I was writing, and I pretty much was going on about 3 to 4 hours of sleep. But it was worth it to me because like I was just so focused and so really like in the zone that I was just like, yeah, one thing like this is what it should be. This is what it should be. This way. This person should be feeling this way. This should be happening like the next scene of the book. This should be happening. Like the war should be happening here. Like the wars should be coming from this side, this side. Most of the time, it's just like I'm just like trying to like figure out all the perfect times when I'm not really busy running around doing anything. Is trying to figure out, come up with ideas for like how a war should be or how a person should talk or like the scenery should be, what kind of weather is it, how the person is feeling that day. There's even times like when I was doing like Erebus the Ranger, like I was home and I was literally for almost about I literally stayed for almost like 24 hours, like just writing away because I was just so in the zone. I was literally like acting out the fight scenes and everything, but it's rough, but it's so worth it though. But like if there are any writers out there who who do that, please, 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 please make sure you get some rest. You have to because I stayed up, like I said, I stayed up for almost 24 hours, and I was just trying to like hurry up and type everything before I went to sleep. Went to sleep, woke up, and didn't understand a single word that I wrote. But it's hard. So like it's either before time, before work, during work, after work. Like I pretty much just put that before sleep, before eating, before anything, because like I just really more or less love writing now than I ever did before. I've become like addicted to writing, so that's pretty much like the only time that I do it. Cool, like Berserk manga. Yeah, yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I love Berserk. Berserk. Well, I saw the anime. I didn't read the manga though, but that was dark. That's darker than half the stuff that I like. I'm going to be writing, but yeah, yeah, pretty much like yeah, like I loved Berserk though. Berserk kind of like most of like especially like this one here, like Erebus, definitely has like a very manga type feel to it, and there will be other books um, that I'll be writing, that I would love to eventually wind up into like a manga, anime, stuff like that. Um, because I've gotten like ideas from like my friends and everything like that. And my one friend Chris, he's like, Virgo, you should check this book out. And it was the book about Overlord, like from the anime. And I'm just reading, I'm just like, wow, like that's amazing because I'm literally reading. I'm like, I want to read it like as a fan, but and I probably will. But as of right now, like, I'm literally reading it to kind of pick up like tips like on how they were doing the writing and how they do like conversations between people going back and forth and everything like that. So like I'm pretty much just like studying like the way they do because I just want to get my craft like done like so much better. So people will actually enjoy it more. And people's like, well, why does he do this so often? Why does Clarence have it like this? But yeah, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much because like I said, I loved Berserk, but it was very dark and twisted. I'm not opposed to that, but yeah, but like I definitely want to make more of my books. Not all of them, but like definitely some like more or less like anime style, like a light novels and stuff like that. Will kind of have like that anime manga type feel to it. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's definitely a compliment for me. Thank you for that. And like sometimes like I get most of my inspirations from the books either from like music, from my friends, what's going on in my everyday life, from playing games, from watching movies, things like that. And I kind of go back and I'm like, well, did they really do this? Did they do it this way? Now I've just thinking about doing like all different kinds of genres now because I remember last year on the Festival of Storytellers, someone was like, well, they thought Soul Exchange was like a sci-fi book, and it wasn't. But I'm definitely gonna have like some sci-fi books coming out like this year, like not this year, sorry, but hopefully soon though, because I want to make sure that everything is done right. I want to definitely want to really take my time, really, put my all into it, really get like the scenery done, emotions done to the characters, how I think they should be acting, how I think they should be feeling, all that kind of things. Because what I love to do, I love to bring like the emotions like out of all my books, not necessarily, you just read them like, okay, hopefully people will like learn something from the books, maybe like, oh, I should treat people this way, I should treat people this way, or, this person kept going and going and going, till they achieve their goals, things like that. But, I want people to take like enjoyment, encouragement, like lessons from like each and every one of my books, especially like like a great escape from, reality, from the pressures of the world, from stress and everything like that. That's kind of what I would hope and to do for my books. Do you have another book that you want to publish that all animators can really relate? I do actually. I do. That's in the works right now. That I'm still trying to figure out like how the story's gonna go. And you can probably tell it'll. And if you've seen like one anime that I know that I definitely know of in particular, you'll see like a little bit of pieces like from there, like, oh, there's like an inspiration from that one. That one definitely. There's that one I would love to be like a series two. And matter of fact, there's another one that I thought about too that is very, very much anime related, and that one would definitely be a series two to kind of go from like one scene to like a whole other like beginning and middle way ending of like the character and everything like that. And I would love to do some isekais. I really would, because I have grown so fond of like watching isekais and everything like that. So like I love them. I love them. So definitely more anime related books and definitely some regular books as well. So I'm excited for them. I think once like I finish my break, I'm gonna have to decide like what books I want to work on first, because and for some reason everybody feel like most people don't really believe me when I tell them that I have about like 30 to 50 books in my head. They're kind of like in shock, but I really do, because most of the books that I have, I kind of want to do as a series for, and especially like with like anime like related type books, I definitely want them to become more or less like an anime type series and manga, like series that kind of goes on and maybe intertwine with one another. Um, I'm glad you're into this anime, but Eris Ranger, his personality, man. Thank you so much. Trust me, when you if you read Erebus, I'm telling you, there's about middle way of the book. You will, like I said, and you probably like know what I'm talking about. There's a part in the book. I don't want to give it away, but there's a part you can be like, that's definitely from an anime. Definitely from an anime. But yeah, and that was the thing that my friend wanted to go with too. He's like, yeah, it goes, I kind of want to do like an anime, type cover feel with it. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Why not? So yeah, I appreciate that. So I'll definitely now. Plus, I'll definitely let my friend know about that too. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, I definitely want to do some anime. Want to do some regular books too. I kind of want to do like all kind of genres, from like science fiction, maybe horror or whatever. What part of the book did you have the hardest time writing? Thank you, Noel. The hardest book I think I had writing was, it would have to be Armageddon, the one that was coming out, because I did, and I know this is going to sound crazy and everything, but I did Erebus within a month. I did Talking to the Devil within in a month. All those were easy, but I was so kind of like burnt out that with Armageddon, I'm just like, well, how's this supposed to go? And how's this supposed to be? Well, should I do it like this? Should I do it like that? Basically, I think it was Armageddon. It was pretty much just because I was just like tired, but I was trying to figure out, well, how should I have things like coming, like happening? How should I have like the scenery? Should it be like this? Should it be like that? Because Revelation is very kind of very deep. And then there's like, if you really read it, like it's very dark, in a way. So I kind of want to make that like a very, very like horror-esque, so to speak. But I think that one definitely was, because I was trying to figure out like all the different things and everything. I was looking cover designs of your book. I still wonder how you managed to be this detailed of your books in full-time work. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate that so much. Like I said, it's rough. It's rough, but I try to make time because when I did Soul Exchange, I was like, okay, well, I guess this is what I want to do. Sure, why not? And then I did it because I was like, boy, like God's telling you that you need to write books. I'm like, okay. So when I did Soul Exchange, I was like, okay, like it was fun. I liked it, but now I've literally become addicted to it. So it's definitely hard now because like I have like a new job now. Like I'm a forklift driver. So now, I'm going to bed a whole lot earlier now. I'm waking up a lot earlier, but sometimes, like when I'm like on my break or so, like I'll be thinking about like, what's the next stories and everything like that. And the crazy thing is I don't write none of details down. Like I keep it all in, like God has it so that like, I keep it all in my head. So when I get home, like I just keep thinking about it. But when like I come off my break, I'm gonna like go full force with all my books, definitely. Purchase my video. Wow, I would definitely purchase all your books. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Hey Anthony, how you doing, bro? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you and Deborah for me. I appreciate it. So everybody, I know it's kind of getting kind of close to wrap up time, but I would definitely want to thank you all for coming, and watching me talk about my books and everything. Please go to Clarence Causby Books on Facebook and on Instagram. And that way, you can always keep in touch with like all my books that's going to be coming out, and different things like that about my books. So definitely, I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, talking with me, giving me great questions. Thank you all too for answering me, for like asking such great questions. I really appreciate it. And thank you definitely for the anime conversations as well. Like, I really appreciate that. Definitely my books you can definitely buy on Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com. So please go out and get a copy. Tell your family, tell your friends, everything. I hope you guys like and enjoy them. And if you're not really to your taste, please, 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 please do not fall asleep on me, because I'm telling you, I have a lot more books, and the books that you see now are like Soul Exchange, Talking to the Devil, Erebus. All my other books was going to get so much better, so much better, so much more detailed with the artwork, with the storytelling, with the emotions and everything. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy day. Thank you for all my friends that came up through, like Anthony and everybody. Thank you so much for coming along. I appreciate it. Like, I love you guys so much. And I appreciate your support. And thank you guys for, talking just to an average person like me. I appreciate it. And it really means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys for coming. And please go out and buy the books. Go tell your family, go tell your friends, go out to buy the books. I really appreciate all the support. And definitely be waiting on like some of my anime type style of anime books coming out. Like, definitely. And even like some of my sci-fi and all my other like sequels and series coming out, because it's going to be fun. And I promise you that I'm going to work my hardest and everything so that you guys will definitely enjoy it, enjoy reading, enjoy the ride and everything. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a good night, everybody. And I'll see you, matter of fact, I'll see you guys next week. I'll actually be back on Monday, October 31st from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and November 2nd, which is a Wednesday, from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and November 3rd, which is a Thursday, from 7:30 to 8 p.m. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys then. Make sure you guys tune in. Please come back to see me. Please come back with more questions. I love to hear from you guys. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Have a great rest of the week. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.